Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year to everybody. And welcome to the Misfit Toys. I want to hear some snaps. I want to see some jazz hands. As always, I have my gorgeous and hilarious co-host, Maria De La Ghetto. And we have the talented, hilarious, and also gorgeous Miss Becca Ward. What's up?
That's my friend. That's my friend.
I was gonna do this, but I just painted my nails, and I did it before this to practice, and I got nail polish in my hair. This is hot, right?
I love. For those of you who are just listening, you got to click the link on your podcast to watch the live feed if you're missing it right now. I want to say a big shout out to Joke Pit, the box office, the comedy box office, for supporting us and being such a great sponsor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please, if you are watching, write in, tell us where you're coming from. We would love to give you a shout out. We have fans all over the world, from Wales to London, New York, Chicago, Houston, LA, and even Hong Kong. So snaps and jazz hands to all of our fans from all over the world. And as we love to start, it's time to breakfast and BITCH. So Ms. Becca Ward, what'd you have for breakfast, and what do you have to BITCH about? Meaning, what is bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard about life right now?
Well, I had a little too much coffee for breakfast, and I had some apple oatmeal that from a Food Lion, which you cannot find here, okay? It's special. So I packed no clothes so I could bring my computer gear, my show gear, everything. I could bring that, and I could bring snacks home from DC.
DC, baby.
This is why we're friends.
Never paid full price. But what do I have to BITCH about today? Well, I had like this smack in the face in when I was driving. I went to DC. I quarantined for a week, just over a week, with my mom. I survived. Thank you. She's like me, but times 5. So, yeah, and a lot shorter. But so I went to go see my grandmother. And I stopped at a gas station. She was sick, so I ended up just leaving her soup and salad and a cannoli on her.
Cannoli? Cute.
Her husband, my grandfather died a couple of years ago, but he's hardcore Italian. And I was like, in my mind, it was a little bit of a dirty joke, which is probably not right to leave for your grandmother. But like, everybody deserves a little cannoli on Christmas. Am I right? Like,
thank you. Yes.
Give me that white Christmas. But when I was driving down, I stopped at a gas station, and I walked in there, and nobody had a mask on. This is like close to Charlottesville, Virginia, which I know we have some history with. But that is the first time since the pandemic started where I was judged for wearing a mask. I got like the straight up down from like Meth Mouth Mary over there, and I was just like, girl, you could benefit also from this mask. Like no one would know.
No one would know. How would they know? No.
But it was the reason why it's like terrifying for me or traumatizing me. It's like that is just proof that this is not going to be over anytime soon. So I just need to keep bringing the joy. Yeah.
Bringing the joy.
Yes.
Speaking of joy, I need to give a big shout out to Laurence. Bonjour, ça va?
Bonjour. I don't speak Spanish. Spanish.
Je t'adore.
I don't speak French.
Laurence, she is amazing. We love her. She is from this little island near Madagascar. For those French island, for those that question, does anyone know where Madagascar is?
Off the coast of Africa.
See, you are so smart. Most people are like, isn't that in the Mediterranean? People are like, Madagascar, isn't that near Vanilla?
Isn't that on Netflix?
Oh, we also have, hey, Kelly Ashworth.
Hello. I need
Oh,
first place on my head when this is over was the UK, baby.
yes. So, Maria, ¿qué has comido esta mañana para tu desayuno? What did you eat for breakfast?
Okay, see, I do understand a little Spanish. Not so much. My dad made breakfast. He made papa con chorizo, huevo y frijoles y tortilla de maíz. Oh,
Yes.
I love my. So yeah, it was bomb. I'm fat and full and happy. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect way to start off the day. I did my little yoga afterwards because I woke up mad. You ever just like wake up mad?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ready to bite a bitch's head off for no reason. You're like, please give me a reason because I really want to fight. So now I'm good. And then, really, what is there to bitch about life? Life is a bitch right now. That's just plain and simple. Life is a bitch. I am dying inside because I'm stuck inside. But, it's the little things that are keeping me going, like my papa con chorizo made from my papa. It's really about, I want a Coca-Cola now.
No, what you want is my bee pollen citrus cleanse.
Sure. Yeah.
Wait, if I'm allergic
I
to
really
bees,
like health drinks.
Like, if you can't see, this is some bee pollen citrus cleanse. I am trying to get myself like.
Oh, that's good.
But if you're allergic to bees, can you still drink bee pollen?
I think if you're allergic to bees, it's fine.
I'm going to tell you yes, just so I can hear about what happens.
Oh.
I think it's just when you get stung by the bee that you go into anaphylactic shock. But don't quote me now. I'm only half Asian. I ain't that damn smart,
Hey, Sierra, what's going on, girl? She's cleansing too. Okay, thank you. Thank you for all the help.
I just gotta say, these cleanses, I mean, it's great. Like, it's really, I feel like there is some, like, you just feel good because you kind of reset your body. Although other people will disagree. But y'all be angry and bitchy when you do the cleanse. I have a friend, and he was a bartender at the time. And oh my God, every time he went on a cleanse, by the second or third cleanse, when I found out he was on a cleanse, I was like, all right, I'll see you in a week. I wouldn't even come to the bar. I'd be like, you're a bitch on a cleanse. Like, you are not fun. You're a bartender. You're supposed to be fun. And you're not drinking. I'm like, no. Well, I'll be at the end of on the end of the bar with the other bartender. You do you, boo.
Where I'm from, a cleanse is just like eating Taco Bell 2 days in a row.
That will cleanse you out, girl.
Yeah,
well.
Woo! Let me tell you, ain't nothing. I'm just gonna say it. Chipotle.
Oof.
Why does Chipotle give everybody bad boo boo? I've had people. Yeah,
there's a South Park episode just about that.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's clear this up. It's for white people. It was the white people that would go to Chipotle, and because I get the tofu sofrito thing, and it's bomb. You know what I'm saying? But because it's spicy to them, I think is what it is. I'm like, oh my God, if that's
listen, if you can eat street meat and not die like the hot dog stands, or like the lady with the tamale cart, like you're gonna be fine. You just need you need to eat more dirt as a kid.
Rich white people don't eat that stuff.
I know.
Which is why I don't understand. I'm like, Chipotle, y'all, everyone talks about the $1 guacamole and it's so expensive. I'm like, okay, well, I guess. I mean, do like me and my friends do, carry an avocado in your purse.
Yes.
All you gotta do. It's really convenient.
So
what did you have for breakfast, Iggy? Did you just have the cleanse? That's it? Well, you don't really eat breakfast, right?
I had a goat cheese English muffin with a balsamic reduction.
Ooh, who made that?
So yeah, I'm still eating it now. It's taking me a while. It's 2:00 and I'm still eating my breakfast. Did you know? Side note: Chipotle is started by 2 gay white people.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Who are from Colorado.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense as to why white people can't eat it. I don't understand.
Dude, Colorado is crunchy central. Like
You know, it's just the randomest thing. You're like, wait a minute, how come? But yes. And then what do I have to bitch about?
Yes, tell us. Tell us. Take a moment here.
I have been having a lot of pushback from.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. It's cracking. It was crackling.
Okay, can you hear me better now? Is that good?
Yeah, chicharron's crackling.
I'll just keep it in the stand. I've been getting a lot of pushback from because we're doing the Misfit Toys Comedy Studio, and a lot of the male comics have been giving me some hate and trolling and being all, and
Shocking. I'm so surprised.
I was like, what do you have against, another male trying to promote other females? But I've been getting a lot of like troll hater, like, just like, what do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? Why do you not like that? And it's like, and I'm like, are you that scared that you're so unfunny? Like, what is it? Like, what are men scared of when it comes to women in comedy? Like, I don't understand.
That's absolutely what they're scared of. They know they're not funny because they know. That's why they're like, no. There's so many people, especially like on the comedian groups that I follow and I joined. So many men love to be like, oh, this diversity, this, or if you're funny, you're funny. I'm like, no, because I'm in LA and I've been to one too many open mics and shows to know that y'all white boys hook up your white boyfriends even if they're not funny. So don't give me that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Y'all scared, as you should be, because y'all are not funny. Straight up.
well, I got a hot take for you here.
Yes, let's hear it, Beckham.
So they think they're being, I'm generalizing. Okay, not always, obviously. I've met my fair share of like awesome homies who empower women, who promote women. But
yeah,
what's happening is it's now that it's a level playing field, a lot of the cis white middle-aged or like, even like elder millennial dudes, they think that they're being discriminated against because now it's an even playing field for everyone. So they were here and everyone else is here, and now they're here with everyone else. But to them, like they lost something. Like
it's true. It's true.
But it's not. It's like it's been a loss to us forever and a day. So welcome to real reality.
Equality does feel like discrimination to the privileged.
There it is. Ooh, put that on the heartbeat.
Equality is discrimination for the privileged.
Feels like discrimination.
It feels like, and honestly, it is, because they're feeling like, oh, whoa, you're taking something away from me, and they feel like they're losing something. And it's true. When you're up high and we're asking everyone to come down to it, they don't want to come down out the castle. They don't want to come and do that, and so I can see why they get defensive, because they're like, wait a minute, I'm losing. They are. When equality happens, those that have to give up a little to give to those that don't. And so they get, how do you say, defensive.
Right.
They grab on and they hold on tight because they don't want to let go. And I'm like, times are shifting.
But if they were actually really funny to begin with, they would stay relevant. No? Don't you think that at some level, like maybe at most, they'll lose a little bit of traction, but if they're supporting and if they're actually like pushing for everyone, we people of color will see that like, yo, he's been the homie since day one. I'm still gonna hook him up, whether he's white. You know what I'm saying? Like that's also what they're not understanding is you might have lost something, maybe a little, but if you're really that funny. And if you're down for the cause, if you're with us, if you're about the equality, you're not going to lose that much, maybe for a second. But ultimately, you'll still make your way because you're funny. and people like you. Like that is the basis of making a career in the industry. People like you and you have talent. So
competition should make you want to be better. It should not, you should not necessarily like put other people down to bring yourself up. It should just make you want to work harder because, you know, we're accepting more funny women. We're accepting, you know, like the amount of hilarity that comes from some of my like trans comic friends. One of the best parts of comedy is getting the other perspective. Tell me, the funniest thing to me is something I've never thought of myself or that I couldn't necessarily understand from my own privilege. I want to hear it. Like, and I feel blessed to be enlightened, you know, like I want to know, because then also maybe I can write a joke better for a different audience.
Exactly.
So speaking of different perspectives, what was it like growing up in West Virginia?
Oh, Lord. So I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters. Whoa. And I had to stop referring to my brothers like, because it was a joke, go figure. But I had to stop referring to them as like the hot one or like the less hot, but like still doable one. Because I'm from West Virginia, because whenever people would walk out of the clubs, they'd be like, oh, that's the girl who fucks her brothers. I didn't want to be that chick.
You're like, no, I fuck my cousins. Excuse me.
Well, I can't. They're all women. So I could, but like they have all these like parasites, like, which to me is synonymous with children. So like, but growing up, my mom she'd like lock us out for like 12 hours of the day. And well, pound on the door. You're like, Mom, I'm thirsty. She'd be like, drink your spit. You know. So my brothers and I, we would get imaginative. We would drink each other's spit. No, it's just the way we grew up was like, I mean, it was an animal kingdom. It was just like we have enough kids for a basketball team with subs. You know, so it's loud. It's crazy. You play in the backyard, you chop up snakes, you throw them at each other's private parts. You know, it's just classic childhood stuff for me.
You look like some of us Mexicans, girl. You were one of us. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I grew up raised by an electric fence. Like that was my parameter.
Kelly's like, you should live in the UK. Oh my goodness.
The thing is, whenever we wanted to play outside, we would have to wear neon colors. Because like during hunting season, you just had to be like, if somebody sees like, so like, also I got kind of those doe eyes, you know. But I would say, don't worry, my mom is fine for the most part. I'm not Bambi, like for real. But even playing outside, yeah, you have to wear neon because like you might get shot. My neighbor built this great porch for his trailer, and he'd just sit out there and he'd be like, Rachel, come here. And I'm like, okay, like you can give somebody enough Coors Light, I'll be whoever. But like,
who's Rachel?
I know.
My name is Becca. Sometimes Rachel.
Biblical names, I think, or like, I don't know. But he would sit out there and he would shoot wild turkeys from the porch he built for his trailer. And I had no idea that turkeys were cannibals. Like, who knew?
They eat each other?
If you shoot one, yeah, all the other ones come in and they eat the other turkey. Like, everyone loves Thanksgiving. Oh my God. I feel blessed though. I didn't have TV or internet or hummus till I was like probably 15, 16.
Oh my God. Same, actually.
My mom still says Chipotle. Like, you cannot say sriracha.
I don't know. Kelly, over here talking about you've got no chance. I think you are the one who's going to survive because you have to face hunters and your brother's spit and wild cannibal turkeys. I don't think COVID ain't going to do nothing to you.
Oh, bring it up. No, don't bring it on. But like, it actually like, I have this weird, I think it's true, but I have this like weird connection with animals. Or it's like they can like feel my vibe or whatever. Like It is the most bizarre thing. If a dog is walking past me, it will like not even look at whoever I'm with, but it will beeline to me. And I'm like, maybe it's because we have a lot in common. Like I also love like balls and hate vacuums and like, like they just know maybe it's my like spirit animal of sorts. But like,
oh my god,
you ain't seen nothing till you see. One of my favorite memories of my mom was we were driving out of a trailer park somewhere in I grew up in a tiny town called Darksville, West Virginia, and it had 31 houses. Tornado hit, and we were one of 3 houses not condemned.
oh my god.
So it was just insane. And then that house burned down. Go figure.
Oh my god.
My mom was like, "It was an accident." You're like,
oh my god.
you do
Wow,
smell
dude.
like Misty Menthol Light 120s while doing laundry. Like, really? It was an accident. For insurance purposes, sure
It was
was.
an accident. It was an accident, bitch.
Maria, what's the worst, craziest home accident that you've had to go through?
Oof. Oh man. You know what? I don't think I ever like burnt anything down or broke anything like intense. It was always my sister who suffered the blunt force trauma.
Oh no.
Yeah, my sister took a giant, you know, those tree cutting saws. So we were playing in the backyard, and I don't know what happened, but I knocked down the saw, and it fell flat on her head. Thankfully, on the side, not this way, but it still nicked her on the scalp. She's been hit on the head with a baseball bat because me and a friend were playing outside, and my friend was twirling the bat, and I guess my sister got under the bat just right, and it smacked right flat on her head. Oh my god, my poor baby sister. Needless to say, she's a really hard-headed kid. So person. I almost set the bathroom on fire once with a towel because I was a firebug. I did like lighting shit on fire. It was hanging from the shower, and then I just went with the lighter, and then all of a sudden it went woof, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Thankfully, I was in the bathroom, and I threw it in the tub and turned the shower on, and I was like, and I threw the towel away, and no one was none the wiser, so it was fine.
To be fair, that is, if you're gonna burn something, that would be the place,
right?
Like the source of water. But it is what's most shocking about what you just said to me. Who the hell has a backyard in Los Angeles?
Oh.
What do you mean? Like,
actually, you know what? We did.
Like LA is the quintessential. Everybody's got a backyard. Like,
no, there is absolutely. So we grew up in Highland Park in the hood, like it's East LA, Northeast LA. So back during the 90s Cholo pandemic, the crash pandemic.
York and 64th.
Yeah. And I tell Eddie every time, you moved in there when gentrification already happened. Shut up. I grew up in the 80s and 90s in Highland Park where you did not walk outside at night. And the first time I saw a white lady with her white baby outside and walking outside, I was like, oh my God, are you lost? Do you need help? Like, what's going on? So yeah, no, it was in the 60s and 70s when my dad grew up there, like 50s, 60s, 70s. It was a working class neighborhood. So it was a lot of Italians and Jews. And then when the 80s and 90s hit, that's when the Cholo movement came out and was really like hard. And so we had the Avenues and I forget the other gang that was in my area. But yeah, that's when, and like there was a little like sub gang for each gang in my junior high, because we left in high school. So junior high, there was like the Bunny Queens and I think CBS, which I don't even know what they were. I don't know what it stood for, but I was like, they're coming out with all these acronyms. I'm like, they sound like TV networks. I don't know. So it was crazy. And I was just this chubby Asian girl trying to get home from you know, seeing like cholas jumping these girls in front of the library, the public library. I was like, I just wanted to rent my Anne Rice book. Am I good? Can I go? Like, it was wild, bro. It was wild. But yeah, like it was, so they have a lot of neighborhoods like that still. It's kind of still suburban. It's like the outskirts. It's not LA, like Central or West Side. Like that's just, ugh, like, oh my God. Too much, bro. That's too much. That's a lot of people there.
I moved to the top of the hill in Highland Park.
That right there, the top of the hill.
And the El Caminos couldn't make it up. like my cleaning lady had to park at the bottom of the hill, and like I would have to go pick her up because she couldn't make it up the hill with her car.
This is not Highland Park. No. See, the first thing he said was, I was at the top of the hill. Bitch. My cleaning lady couldn't get out. You are not Highland Park. Don't claim Highland Park. I almost punched a dude in Carlsbad because when I said I was from Highland Park, he's like, oh, you bougie. I was like, I will fight you right now. Call me bougie one more time because I'm from Highland Park. Call me bougie one more time, white boy. Call me bougie.
I got something for you.
But let me tell you, so I get my first house, and this is my first house experience. And all of a sudden, we're throwing a party, and this blue water, like Listerine blue, starts coming up in the basement.
No.
No.
Like Listerine blue, like Aqua Velva blue.
Like Smurf piss?
I love the way that smells, but ew.
And I was like, what is going on? I don't understand. And I was like, it didn't make any sense. And then I realized it was the blue from the toilet duct.
Oh, nanny.
Like it was bubbling up in the basement. I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? I'm like, everyone just start, how to use the yard and the thing. And I'm like freaking out. And so I call the plumbers the next day. They try to snake it. It's not working. And the thing. And then the Aqua Velva starts to come back up. And this is my first house and my first experience. I don't know anything about plumbing and I am like freaking out. So then I called the city, and there's a thing called a clean out, which is like a little manhole that connects your house line to the main sewage line. And they bring this like fire truck, and it has a big hose, and they blast out the clog.
Oh.
And so they put this hose and they go to blast the clog. And I joke you not, a 30-foot poo geyser erupts in my yard.
No.
It decorates the front of my house. It looks like a poo Pollock painting. Pollock's the one that just flicked the paint.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, what do I? And then they just get in the car and get to go. They're like, okay. And I'm like, wait, whoa. I'm like, this is a 3-story house. I'm like, I can't get that off the thing and they're like, oh no, that's a Department of Sanitation problem. And I'm like, oh hell no. So I went in the house and I got them a sack of weed and a bunch of beer left over from the party. And I was like, here's some weed, here's some beer, clean this off my house. Like I don't like it got worse.
No.
It came back.
The party got worse.
We had to start excavating around the front yard to figure out what was wrong. And every time they made the hole bigger, the cost went from a couple grand to now we're like in the $30,000-$40,000 mark. And I have a giant cesspool. So it's like a swimming pool it was a pool lagoon in my front yard.
No.
And I'm like freaking out. What?
You had to pay for this?
Well, I didn't tell him I didn't have the money. I'm like, I just need to flush my toilet.
Oh my God.
No.
Like, I didn't tell him I didn't have the money. I was like, sure, no problem. Just keep working. So my mom flies out to see what I did with her investment because she helped loan me the money for the down payment. And she sits there and she's looking around the neighborhood. She's looking at this pool lagoon. And she was just like, she could not believe what, like, she was just like, you're the only gay white Jew in this neighborhood. What on earth are you doing? And I'm like, it's called gentrification, mother. So they had to redo all the pipes. They had to, and then they gave me the bill, and I didn't have the money to pay, and I went into crazy debt, and I didn't know what to do, and so I got 3 jobs, and I started stripping. I got on the pole. I got on the pole to pay for the Poo Lagoon because I didn't know how else to pay for it. So here I am dancing on the pole, and everyone thinks that I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have to pay for this Poo Lagoon. So now I'm dancing for money like I'm stripping for money on the pole trying to pay for this pool lagoon because I wanted to be a homo owner. I was like, now I know why millennials don't want to buy homes, and that it is not easy. It is not easy. Yeah, holy shit is right, Kelly. Like it is. Yeah, Laurence, it was not a joke. But what it taught me after that was I can handle anything, because I was able. I borrowed money. I got on the pole. I worked 3 jobs. I did everything that you hustle. And I remember I would go into the bank with all the crumpled up bills. And the bank manager was Maria, and she would just look at me. She'd give me the side eye. And I'm like, don't judge. I'm paying for my pool lagoon, girl. Just don't judge. Fast forward 2 years. I go to sell the house. Because of the time and the market and everything, the house tripled in value.
Yes.
Wow.
I went to go deposit the check for the sale of the house, and I go to the bank manager, Maria, and I was like, there's not enough spaces for all the zeros in my check on the deposit slip. Do I put all the extra zeros on the back?
Yes.
Or do I, I don't know. And Maria was just like, because she just knew me as the stripper boy with the crinkled up, nasty, all sweaty dollar bills. And they're like, what kind of pole dancer are you depositing?
No, Maria's smarter than that. She's like, oh, so he finally got a sugar daddy. Okay.
But I was able to pay everybody back. I was able to pay my mother back. I was able to, pay for the pool lagoon. And that was how I started. That also paid for my career in comedy. That's how I hired my first comedy coach. That's how I was able to, get into comedy, because otherwise I wouldn't have been like that. That was my kind of launching into comedy, because I was like, now I got this little bit of money. I can actually do something that I love, not something that, I need to do. So,
yeah. Dude,
so that was my first homo owner experience.
Yeah,
I thought about the OnlyFans thing, and I was like, this is probably the best I'll look in my life. Like, I don't know that for sure, but I was like, but what are like my special skills? Like, what's different about me enough to like get people in? And then I just learned about ASMR, and I was like, I can make amazing fart noises with my hands. Like, that's gotta be somebody's kink.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And I can last forever.
Gummy worms, it doesn't even matter. Like, I've been wanting to do ASMR videos forever, and I don't know why I don't. Because these people only, like, some people just use their iPhone microphone, and it's enough to be like, so I need to get in on that, because Lord knows I eat everything under the sun. Gummies, crackers, chips. Oh my God, I love chips. Crab leg. I've done 2 mukbangs already.
Into like Rugrat voices, like, got you. Like, I can do an impression of Dexter from Dexter's Lab, or like Marcel. Like pretty much it. Like, I looked at Pasties. I've looked at him 1.5 million times, thinking like, come on, girl, like now is the time. And I don't know what is the holdup. Like, I went to Christian Academy and Catholic school, like, and that's not it, because a lot of those chicks are like coke whores now. So it's like, more power to them, and whatever. I don't judge, but not for me. And then just like walking around, you guys know Santee Alley?
Yes.
I call it the bizarre bazaar, right? Like,
you got everything there, girl.
Every time I look at him, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't think I like to show my body. Like,
I mean, and not everybody does or has to. There's I don't know. You really should look into the ASMR thing, honestly. Like,
my mom tried to get me to wear little bikinis and stuff. Like, when
I don't know what ASMR means, so you got to explain that to me.
Oh, I don't know what the acronym is, but it's the eating videos where you just hear people chewing and swallowing and crunching.
It doesn't have to be
eating.
It's not. It doesn't have to be eating.
It's a noise, like, stimulation.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a noise fetish. Like, some people like the sound of like some people hate the sound of forks clinking together, right?
Right. Some people hate ASMR.
Just kind of depends on probably what you heard in the womb, I think.
Oh, maybe that it's autonomous sensory meridian response, ASMR. There it is.
Which
I was gonna
basically
say
means
like
fart noises.
audio, sexy.
Ooh, that's
mouth.
what you're into. I like the eating sounds. I like eating when people eat crunchy things or crab legs. Crab legs, seeing it, hearing it. Oh my God, my mouth is watering thinking about it.
Ugh. Ugh.
See, a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people do. A lot
My
of people
mom-
think it's weird.
That's
A
weird
lot
to
of
me
people
too,
love it.
Kelly.
Yeah, it's a because I like noises, like certain I guess types of noises. Like I like the sound of rain to put me to sleep. I really like sitar music because it has this something like makes it like it tingles in my brain, like it feels good. Like ASMR to me feels good like in my brain the way someone massaging me physically would. Do you know what it's kind of like the equivalent?
I put on the alpha waves. See, I put on those like alpha brain waves.
Yeah, they have
what I do.
certain
Now
megahertz sounds and stuff. Yeah, same
Now
thing.
I need to put on some chewing, see if that helps. Maybe
Yeah, it might. You never know. You never know.
I want to ask, what got you into comedy? Like, what was your, what was that
Defining moment.
For me, it was a Poo Lagoon and surviving that, and then having the freedom to actually pursue. And basically, I was like, I'm gonna turn shit into lemonade and get on stage and tell my story. And that was kind of the impetus for me moving, moving into comedy. What was your impetus for starting a career in comedy?
Really similar vein. I just call it like giving purpose to pain, right? Like refocusing whatever has happened and making it something that people can relate to. But I think my realization was I went to church camp often, but it was music and drama church camp, which my mom's boyfriends would be like, "Wow, you guys going to gay camp?" Like, yeah, with Jesus will be there with us.
Oh my God.
Yes, Jesus.
Oh my God, I love you.
But I went to church camp and I did the talent show and I told jokes about Jesus. And I won the Christ-like award, which they're probably regretting now. If anyone from there is like following me now, because I do like a bit of raunchy humor here and there.
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's shock. I like shock value a whole lot. But it's like I've always been gangly. Like, and I was made fun of a lot for it growing up, but I don't know. It's only popular in LA and like the Catholic Church to look like a 12-year-old boy.
You
Imagine that.
But from then on, it's like then I started doing theater and doing the music and drama camps. And then what would Jesus do? Jesus would probably blush and cry and put himself to bed. But it was just crazy. 7 siblings. Like there was no... there's no quiet. So you have to be louder and louder and escalate and escalate. And it's almost just this built-in kind of like improv troupe of ridiculousness. Because we all have giant imaginations just from not having TV or internet till we were like 15 years, maybe 16 years old. And so, obviously for my older brothers, even longer, go figure, math. But when I got to college, we started an improv team. And I did some in high school and I did mostly theater. But when I got to college, we founded an improv team that now is 10 years running. Everyone who started it obviously is graduated, even the dyslexic ones. And we went up to Del Close Marathon, but that was the very first time in my life doing improv with these kids where I finally felt like I fit in somewhere by being 100% myself. I was so celebrated for being myself. And that was my first experience. And I was like, I kept telling myself, it's not practical. It's not practical. And my mother, love her. She's like, honey, I would tell you if you were not meant to do this. Believe me. She's like, I would even try to be nice about it. She's just like, you know what you're really good at? Writing, English, grammar. Like, I would point you in a different direction. She's like, but there's just, my last show I did in college was a great slapstick, like kind of vaudevillian. My limbs were half the show. And fart noises naturally. Like,
Of course.
But my mom came to see it maybe 5 out of the 10 times. And she was just like, you've got it. This is it. You know, and when I got to San Francisco, same thing. All the techies, you're so different. You're so different. Like, that's what we want. They crave that because they have these like kind of boring, soul-sucking day-to-day jobs. And it's just refreshing to hear somebody with a different perspective and somebody who's been through it in my own way, but still to come out and always find a silver lining, always find the funny in something. Most everything, not everything, but most everything.
Laurence, perfect segue. Bless our mothers and our mothers. Time for some monologues. What would you say is the number one thing that you have learned from your mother that you still, remember, use, or would pass on today? What's the piece of advice, the lesson that your mom has instilled in you, has taught you?
My mom, I used to get upset, either parent, right? Either like my mom was making me upset or my dad was making me upset because I didn't feel like they understood me, or like they weren't doing something I wanted them to do because they were a bit non-traditional with 8 happy accidents. And my mom, whenever I would get upset about something, she'd be like, go into the bathroom. I'm like, Mama, I don't want to take you to the bathroom, like on the phone. She'd be like, no, just go to the damn bathroom. Go to the bathroom. She's like, pull out a Q-tip. I said, okay. She said, now draw a little smiley face on the top of the Q-tip, flip it over, draw something else, draw a little heart, just like, decorate your Q-tip. I was like, all right. Someone tried crack for the first time today, but okay. I'm assuming first, but and she would say, do you know what Q-tip stands for? And I don't know. And she said, quit taking it personally.
Oh.
So much of what people go through has nothing to do with you. It can be a projection, it can be venting. It's just like you cannot know someone's intention. You can't assume someone's intention was coming from like malintent, or they were coming from a bad place. It just, especially this past year, that has been the biggest gift to me, is really trying to understand that everyone is going through the same thing. Everyone is struggling. So I am the most patient I've ever been in my life from this past year, just with the people I love, the people I care about. All I want is to be an ally to other people. When I'm having good days, I want to share it, but if people aren't ready to hear it or they can't accept it for the day, it has nothing to do with me. I'll be there when they're ready to receive like any love or joy or laughter or whatever. But like, this has been the year just to like feel your feels, but don't take it personally if, someone takes a couple days to get back to you, if you didn't get the job, if you just never know. And assuming is like, along with the chewing in the ear, which I hate, assuming about other people is also a big pet peeve of mine, because I get that a lot. Like, people think, oh, I know your story, I know this and that. It's like, oh, listen to my type 5 and then tell me that again.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I'm
Good
putting it
one.
right now. Quit taking it personally. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Now, Maria, we've heard your monologues. Has Mama De La Ghetto shared any new news or any new advice lately?
No, she's pretty old school. Like we butt heads a lot because of that. But I do appreciate like what I do take from her, especially recently because this past year, maybe last couple years, a lot of her family members have died in the Philippines. So it's been really rough for her. And immigrant Asian moms, that trauma runs so deep, so deep. And I'm always, always, always at odds with myself when it comes to her because I understand her point of view, like what she's been through and all the trauma that she suppresses. Because let's be honest, ethnic parents don't talk about trauma. They don't talk about their feelings, no matter what it is. But on the other hand, it's like, I know she's projecting, but it's still, I have a lot of resentment towards her. So I can't help but get really pissed off on certain things. But when it comes down to it, I always just am reminded by her and just everything else that family is pretty important. And I'm not necessarily like, I'm not trying to like be like, oh, no matter what, family is important, because there are toxic family, like for sure. And if your family members are toxic, I absolutely think you should cut them off. But for the most part, if it's not that serious and, if you're really trying to be understanding, it's really, it's good to have your family around, to know where you come from. My mom has been telling me a lot of stories of our background and where she grew up in the Philippines and our, family history. She knows a lot. It goes far back as her her father's grandparents, which is pretty hard because, a lot of it, our history, I'm not trying to bring the race thing. I'm just saying quickly that a lot of the time ethnic cultures don't have documented history like Western civilization does. Like in Europe and stuff, they don't have it written down. It's all word of mouth. So for her to remember names and where people are from is really amazing. I know my great grandfather, so my grandfather's mother's father, he was from mainland, somewhere in China. They went to China when my great grandmother was a kid, came back to the Philippines, remarried into a different family name. So technically we would have a Chinese last name in the family. So really I've been just learning a lot about my heritage from her and where I come from and the type of person I am and the strength of the women in my family.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I've been learning a lot about just the strength of my family, the women in my family, and just being super grateful that I have parents that I actually can stand to be in the room with, the same house with, you know what I'm saying? So I think ultimately I'm just learning to be more and more grateful and just appreciative about things, So
Yeah, what strikes me as so beautiful what you just said is you have humanized your parents. Like
right.
we don't do that. We're just like, you're my mom, this is the expectation of you. You're my dad, this is the expectation of you. But they're people, they're humans, they make mistakes. Like, and if you can accept that and it doesn't make you question your own mental health or well-being, right. But you can communicate and work with them, then there's actually a better shot of them learning from you. And it sucks being the kid trying to be the parent.
With my dad's actually learned a lot about being politically correct. I'm not trying to be that person, but he's learning so much. And it's super fun introducing him to things that he's never even thought about. Like I made a charcuterie board the other day and he was like, oh, this is really good. I like this. And I was like, oh my God, look at my dad. And my dad's traveled the world, mind you. He was in the military. He's been to like so many different countries. And the fact that I can still introduce new things to him like that and him be excited and happy and to try it really warms my heart so much. Like me and my dad have been bonding a lot, so it's been really fun.
I love that.
I love it.
What about you, Iggy? Talk about how's Mama Nina doing?
I've learned to just end everything with "I love you."
Yes.
That's actually really good.
Because Mama Nina is like, "Did you take out the trash?" And I'm like, "Mama, I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So it doesn't matter what I'm feeling with it. I always just end with, Mama Nina, I love you.
So
I
you did
love
not think out trash, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's just I'm just like, I love you so much. But I love you. I just end everything with I love you. And it has helped our relationship a lot. And even inside, if I'm feeling like, but I just am like, I end everything with I love you. I really love you. I love you. And then I escape downstairs. Like I'm like in my room and I'm like, I love you. And then I run downstairs and close the door. If it's too much to handle, because I don't want to, so I just end everything. So that's one thing is like I just end everything with I love you. Even if I'm frustrated or whatever, I never leave the room or leave the conversation without saying I love you. And then we'll revisit it. But I always end with I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
No matter what. No matter
Well, your
what.
words are very powerful, Iggy. It's like it's a responsibility of the job, in a sense, but it's just saying that alone can like open the door for people not worrying about being judged. Like she can be human, she can be herself because she knows no matter what you do, accept her. Like even if, and also you give yourself then, if you disappear, you give yourself a little bit of space to not react.
Right.
And
once it's out there, it's out there.
But don't like perpetuate the problem by, you just need to go and take a breath and collect, and they can respect that. I mean, since your words are so powerful, you want them to, you have to put a lot of thought behind it. Because as smart as you are, Maria, as smart as you are, and I like to
sometimes you don't have the mental capacity to think of something in the moment and just say the thing. So my go-to is just I love you, and then let me compose, and I'll come back. But I'll just, instead of blurting out something that I'm going to regret, I just blurt out I love you, and I've learned to train myself to do that.
To practice that because right now all kinds of mean shit.
We're almost out of time. Really quickly, what does success mean to you?
To me, success, oh man, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. How can I die happy? Hopefully not soon. I'm not morbid thought, but I just have always craved community, and I have found it in some very funny ways these past few years. But success to me is being respected by your community. And my community are just a lot of talented, like very unique comics. And if they love me for my affability, for my sense of humor, for being particularly eclectic, but if they love me warts and all, like I would die happy just to be respected.
Being respected for your craft is important.
There's also like, humor is so subjective that at the very least, if we have a foundation of affability, where they're just like, I just enjoy you. Like I enjoy your energy, enjoy having you around. I may not be your favorite comic. I may not be who you would pick for your lineup when you're booking 20 comics at the Comedy Store. But if I show up and I'm respectful and I always bring thoughtful jokes, it doesn't necessarily matter as much. And that's what I love about comedy, is that it's also about who you are.
Yeah.
Like that's your brand or whatever. So I would rather like my brand be open, honest, kind, funny, genuine. If I'm like, the funny part is missing for some, I don't take it personally.
Definitely.
But I want to be respected by the community and for people to like enjoy me,
I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well said, my dear.
So, before we go, I want to see, do we have any shows coming up? I know that we are doing a New Year's show tonight, Maria and I, on Dat Fan. I'm going to post it in, text this number. It's at 7 p.m. Pacific. It is in the chat. You can get the login information. Just make sure that your camera is stable and that you will be able to sit still without baking, having a divorce, or hitting your cat while you're watching the show. Just got to say that right now.
Yes.
And this Saturday, I am hosting with the Misfit Toys Comedy Studio a 3-hour comedy intensive that is really about building a foundation in comedy. And I've been in this game for 20 years. I've studied with the best comedy coaches in the world. I've performed with some of the most famous comedians, the Comedy Store, from Laugh Factory, Improv, Caroline's in New York, you name it. And for me, success is being able to share that and to really promote unique voices, and specifically female voices in comedy. So I would love for you to join. Maria and I have been studying together for a while, and we have a great time. We have so much fun. The community that we build with the Misfit Toys is super strong. And so yeah, I'm gonna drop the Eventbrite link in the posts. Did you have any? I know, Becca, you had some questions about either the Misfit Toys studio or the event. So please.
I was curious. This is gonna sound horrible, but just like, is there any type of bartering I can do with you to work with you? I am in that broke comic spot. I furloughed. I was just wondering if there's like I really want.
There's a discount code for those that have performed with Dat Fan or who are currently performing for the workshop this Saturday. We also do a work study program with comedians because I really want to make this available to all. So yes, if money is tight right now and it is, COVID, reach out to me and let's talk about, doing a work study exchange and doing a barter system, because, we are moving towards, I'm all about goats and chickens, meaning it's like, I have a goat, you got some chickens. Instead of me trying to sell my goat to get the money to then give you the money for the chicken, how about I give you a goat and you give me a couple chickens? So
yeah.
I'm all about the barter goat and chicken system. So that's totally fine. If you got some chickens and I got some goats and you need some goats and I need some chickens, we can work it out. Some people don't have chickens. They would rather just pay in cash. That's totally fine too. But yes, please reach out to me directly, or you can email us at misfittoys@gmail.com and just reach out. And it never hurts to ask. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, so it never hurts to ask. And I have no shame. I will be at Target and I'm like, excuse me, can I get a discount on this Eeyore doll? Its ear is a little burnt on the right here. Can I get and they will give me a discount. Like, it never hurts to ask. So yes, please ask. Please ask.
Traditionally, like when it comes to, I don't know if it's like personal ego or whatever it is, like it's hard for me because I've been on my own working since I was 14, 15, and then I've always done it myself and I've always made it work. This has been the weirdest, hardest time where I'm like, I am so smart. Like, why is like, well, it's just, I've lightened up on myself, but I wanted, just in case anybody else has that kind of hesitation in asking, I wanted to ask for myself, obviously, but I want to open that conversation because I feel like you are such a compassionate person. You want to see people succeed. It makes you feel success as well. So, and just good, good tidings, good feelings. But I wanted to basically ask for people like me too.
Yeah, and it just reach out to me directly and let's start the conversation. So definitely. And then, hey, Cassidy, much love, much snaps. You got any shows coming up?
I have a show next week with Locked in a Room comedy. I think I'll be on with Dat presumably sometime next week. I took a week off just to focus on family and and moving. I just moved into a new place, so I'm really excited. But I would love if y'all would check out. We run a female variety show night. I've got magicians, like female-fronted rock bands, comics. Maria's going to be on the next one called Cherry Bomb, and it's on Twitch. Sunland Sunspace is the
Cherry Bomb. Okay.
Yeah, Cherry Bomb on Twitch. That is coming out end of the month. But if any female comics are interested in performing, hit me up. That'd be great. But otherwise, you can find a great show on there. I'm also in a sketch troupe called Hot and Funny Comedy. If you check out Hot and Funny Show on YouTube or on Facebook, it's just an amazing, amazing group of women who all write, produce, edit, direct. Like, it's really, really rad. And I feel so empowered by them, and I feel so inspired. They are girls I maybe never would have met otherwise, but they are such a gift, and we've been keeping each other afloat this year. So Hot and Funny, Sunland Sunspace, and
I love it.
Liar Comedy is on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Perfect. And we can find you on Facebook. We can find you on Insta. Thank you, Kelly. Oh my gosh, it was so nice. Laurence, c'était un plaisir. Comme toujours. Thank you so much.
What is it? Feliz Año Nuevo.
Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year, everyone. Love all of you. Becca, thank you so much.
I'm on a show tonight with Stiggy. We're doing the Jack show.
I'll see you tonight.
I'm also doing the bourgeois.
Bourgeois. I love it.
You can also I'm also doing the Locked in the Room showcase. Are you doing the one on the 9th, Becca?
Whatever day Wednesday is.
I don't remember. Anyway, but I can follow myself on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. I have a link tree. If you just go to the linktree.com/Maria Delgado, you can find all my stuff there. So yeah, follow me. I always update what I'm doing and where I'm performing, what I'm doing, But yay! And me and Becca doing the damn thing. I'm so excited.
Dude, thank you guys so much. I
love you, ladies.
Love you.
Happy New Year, everyone. Ciao.
Give myself a hug for all of us. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Ciao.